My name is Madison Hayes, and I will never forget the night of the storm, when the door burst open and I saw Sarah, my ex-husband's lawyer, step in with a gun. Behind her was Ethan, the man who once swore he loved me, now holding a knife and ready to end my daughter's life and mine. Before I share the full story, let me know where you're watching from in the comments. Hit like and subscribe if you've ever fought through something unthinkable for your family. Trust me, you'll want to hear what happened next. I'm 7 months pregnant and the baby won't stop kicking. Maybe she knows we're in a courtroom. Maybe she can feel my heart hammering against my ribs as I stare at the man I once loved, the man who tried to destroy me. Ethan sits across from me in his $1,000 suit, that same confident smile playing at his lips, the one that used to make me weak. Now, it makes me sick. "Mrs. Hayes," my lawyer says gently. "Are you ready to tell your story?" I place my hand on my belly, feeling my daughter's movement. My other daughter, Emma, is safe with Lucas at home. I think about them both, draw strength from them, and nod. "It started 3 years ago," I begin, my voice stronger than I expected. "Back when I thought I had everything. The Palo Alto mansion was supposed to be our dream home. $15 million of glass and steel perched in the hills, with a view that stretched to the bay. I remember standing in the kitchen that first morning, watching the sunrise paint everything gold, thinking I was the luckiest woman alive. I just quit my job at Apple. Senior software engineer, 6 figures, stock options. None of it mattered anymore. Ethan's startup was taking off, and he needed me. "We're a team, Maddie," he'd said, wrapping his arms around me from behind. "You and me against the world." God, I was so stupid. The pregnancy test turned positive the same day Ethan closed his $100 million deal. I set up candles, bought champagne for him, and sparkling cider for me. I waited in our bedroom, holding that little plastic stick, imagining his face when I told him. He walked in at midnight, drunk on success and actual alcohol. His tie was loose, his hair messy in that way that used to drive me crazy. "Baby," I said, standing up, the test hidden behind my back. "I have news." "Not now, Madison." He didn't even look at me, just started stripping off his jacket. "You wouldn't believe the day I've had." Johnson finally signed. "We're going to be rich. Richer, I mean. Ethan, I really need to. Christ, can't you see I'm exhausted?" He snapped, and something cold settled in my stomach. Whatever it is can wait. But it couldn't wait. My hand trembled as I held out the test. "I'm pregnant." The silence stretched between us like a chasm. Ethan stared at the test, his face cycling through emotions I'd never seen before. Confusion, anger, something that looked almost like disgust. "No," he said finally. "The timing's wrong. I just closed the biggest deal of my life. We can't..." He ran his hands through his hair. "You'll take care of it." "Take care of it?" I echoed, my hand instinctively moving to my stomach. "Don't be dramatic, Madison. You know what I mean. Make an appointment. I'll pay, obviously." That night, I slept in the guest room for the first time. Or tried to sleep. Mostly, I stared at the ceiling, one hand on my belly, wondering when the man I married had become a stranger. I kept the baby. Of course I did. Ethan didn't speak to me for a week, then acted like nothing had happened. But things had shifted. The house felt different, colder despite the California heat. When Emma was born, Ethan held her for exactly 3 minutes before handing her back. "She looks like you," he said, as if it were an accusation. The cameras came next. "For security," he explained, supervising the installation himself. "Every room, every hallway. Can't be too careful with a baby in the house." Then, the financial tracking apps. "Just so we're on the same page about spending." Then Natasha. "I've hired help," Ethan announced when Emma was 6 months old. He said it casually, like he was telling me about a new coffee maker. "She's Russian. Highly qualified. She'll start Monday." "I don't need help," I protested. "I'm managing fine." "You look exhausted," he cut me off. "And frankly, Emma needs more stimulation than you're providing. Natasha speaks 5 languages. She'll teach Emma Russian." I wanted to scream that Emma didn't need Russian. She needed her mother. But Ethan was already walking away, the conversation over in his mind. Natasha was beautiful in that severe Eastern European way. Cheekbones that could cut glass, platinum hair pulled back in a perfect bun. She took Emma from my arms that first morning without asking, started speaking to her in rapid Russian. "English, please," I said. "I'd like to understand." "Mr. Hayes says Russian is important for baby's development," she replied, her accent thick. "You don't speak Russian?" It was the way she said it, like I was failing my daughter by only speaking 3 languages instead of 5. Like I was already not enough. I found my old laptop that night, hidden in a box in the closet. Just wanted to look at my old code, remember who I used to be. But when I powered it on, something was wrong. Files were missing. My AI project, 2 years of work, was gone. My hands shook as I searched through the laptop. The neural network architecture I'd designed, the machine learning algorithms I'd spent countless nights perfecting, all gone. But not just gone. Replaced with shortcuts to Ethan's company servers. I knew before I even looked, but I had to see. There it was. My code, my ideas. The foundation of Ethan's revolutionary AI platform that had investors throwing money at him. He hadn't just stolen it. He'd filed patents, put his name on my work. I confronted him in his home office that night. Emma was asleep, Natasha mysteriously absent. "This is my code," I said, laptop open on his desk. "You stole my work." Ethan didn't even pretend to deny it. He leaned back in his leather chair, that CEO smile spreading across his face. "Prove it." "What?" I said, "Prove it. You're a stay-at-home mom who hasn't coded in 2 years. I'm the CEO of the year, according to TechCrunch. Who do you think they'll believe? You son of a—" "Careful," he warned, standing up. "Stress isn't good for you. Ask Dr. Morrison." "Oh, wait. You haven't seen him in months, have you? Might look like you're neglecting your mental health. Postpartum depression can be so serious." I don't have postpartum depression." "No? The cameras show you crying at odd hours. Natasha's reported concerning behavior. You're isolated, not seeing friends." He moved closer, and I smelled whiskey on his breath. "I've been documenting everything, Madison, just in case." That's when I saw her. Sarah Walsh, Ethan's lawyer, standing in the doorway of the office. At 2 a.m, her blouse was buttoned wrong. "Oh," I said, the picture suddenly crystal clear. "Oh, you bastard." Sarah at least had the decency to look uncomfortable. "Madison?" "How long?" I asked, surprised by how steady my voice sounded. "Does it matter?" Ethan replied. "Sarah's been helping me prepare for various eventualities, including what happens if you become unstable." I laughed, actually laughed. "You're going to have me declared unfit. Take Emma." "Only if necessary," Sarah said, full lawyer mode now. "We hope it won't come to that." I left the office on unsteady legs. In the bathroom, I threw up, then sat on the cold tile floor, trying to think. Ethan had planned this. Every step, every move, calculated. But he'd made one mistake. He'd taught me the system. Lucas Chen appeared at our front door on a rainy Tuesday. I recognized him immediately. We'd worked together at Apple before I quit. Brilliant coder, kind eyes, terrible at office politics. "Madison," he said, shifting uncomfortably. "Ethan hired me as a consultant. I'll be working from the house some days." Of course he had. I forced a smile. "Come in, I'll show you the office." For 2 weeks, Lucas worked in near silence. But I caught him watching me when Ethan wasn't around. The way his jaw tightened when Ethan spoke to me. How he flinched when Natasha literally took Emma from my arms mid-feeding. Then one afternoon, while Ethan was at the office, Lucas found me in the garden. "He hired me to seduce you," he said, without preamble. "Get evidence of infidelity." I kept pruning the roses, my hands surprisingly steady. "I know. You..." "What?" "Ethan's not as subtle as he thinks. Plus, you're a terrible actor, Lucas." I finally looked at him. "The question is, why are you telling me?" He sat on the garden bench, looking miserable. "Because this is wrong. What he's doing to you, it's sick. Madison, I've seen the documents Sarah's preparing. He's not planning to just divorce you." "What do you mean?" "There are life insurance policies, new ones, and he's been asking me about accidents, how to make things look accidental in a smart home." The pruning shears slipped from my hand. "He wants to kill me?" "After the divorce. Make it look like suicide. Depressed ex-wife, history of mental health issues." Lucas ran his hands through his hair. "Madison, we need to get you out." "I can't leave. He'll use it against me. Abandonment. I'll lose Emma." Then we fight back. Lucas pulled out a thumb drive. I've been collecting evidence. Recorded conversations, financial documents, but I need your help to get more. I stared at the drive. This tiny thing that could save my life. Why would you risk this? Because I knew you before, the real you. The woman who built that AI framework from scratch, who could outcode anyone in the valley. His voice softened. And because somewhere along the way, pretending to fall for you stopped being pretend. I took the drive, our fingers brushing. Lucas, I know. Wrong time, wrong everything. But I'm not letting him hurt you. That night, I discovered I was pregnant again. The test mocked me from the bathroom counter, 2 pink lines sealing my fate. I couldn't tell anyone, not yet. This baby was my secret, maybe my only leverage. But first, I had to survive. I became a spy in my own home. Every conversation recorded on my phone, hidden in pockets or tucked under cushions. Every document photographed, every bruise, because yes, there were bruises now, documented. Ethan grew bolder as his IPO approached. The gentle pushes became shoves. The controlling became suffocating. He started locking me in rooms for my own safety when I seemed upset. You're spiraling, he'd say through the door. This is for your own good. Natasha was always thereafter, checking on me with those cold eyes. But something was off about her. She'd stare at Ethan when he wasn't looking, fingers flying over her phone in Russian. One night, she cornered me in Emma's nursery. You need to be more careful, she whispered, glancing at the camera in the corner. He's planning something for next week, during the storm. How do you... I'm not who you think. She leaned closer, pretending to adjust Emma's blanket. Your husband has enemies, powerful ones. They sent me to watch, but... She looked at Emma, something softening in her face. I have daughter in Moscow, same age. I know what it is to be mother. Jesus. You're a spy? Corporate intelligence, she corrected. His competitor wants information. I give them some, but not everything. Not about you and baby. My mind raced. What does he have planned? California, expecting biggest storm in decade next week. Power will fail. Cameras will be down. She met my eyes. He tells Sarah it's perfect timing for accident. We need to... The door opened. Ethan stood there, studying us. Everything all right? Baby was fussy, Natasha said smoothly. Mrs. Hayes helped settle her. He looked between us, suspicious. Madison, come to bed. Now. I followed him, my heart hammering. In our room, he grabbed my arm, fingers digging in. You think I'm stupid? He hissed. I know you're planning something. I don't know what you're talking about. His grip tightened. Lucas told me everything. How you tried to seduce him. Begged him to run away with you. That's not... Shut up. He pushed me onto the bed. You want to leave me? Fine. But you leave with nothing. No Emma, no money, no credibility. Or what? His smile was pure evil. Or you don't leave at all. The storm hit 3 days later. As predicted, the power died. In the darkness, I heard footsteps, multiple sets. This was it. I grabbed Emma from her crib, my hands shaking. The emergency phone Lucas gave me was already dialing 911 when my bedroom door crashed open. But it wasn't Ethan standing there. It was Sarah, with a gun. Hello, Madison. Sarah's voice was calm, conversational. Lightning illuminated her face for a second, beautiful and terrible. Where's Ethan? Don't lie. She stepped forward, gun steady. I know he's planning to kill us both. Me tonight? Make it look like a murder-suicide. You later. Tragic accident. The pieces clicked. You're not in on it together? Sarah laughed, bitter and sharp. Oh, we were. Until I found out about the others. His first wife? That wasn't suicide, Madison. And I helped cover it up, thinking I was special. Her voice cracked. There were 2 more before you, both dead within 2 years of divorce. Emma whimpered in my arms. Sarah's gun wavered. Please, I whispered. My daughter. I'm not here for you, Sarah snapped. Where is he? A crash from downstairs. Footsteps. Multiple people. Madison! Lucas's voice panicked. Madison, where are you? Sarah spun toward the door just as Ethan appeared behind her. Time slowed. I saw the knife in his hand, saw Sarah starting to turn, saw Lucas running up the stairs. No! I screamed. Everything exploded into chaos. Ethan lunged. Sarah fired, missing. Lucas tackled Ethan. They crashed into the hallway, fighting for the knife. "Run!" Lucas yelled, but I couldn't. Natasha appeared from Emma's room, grabbed Sarah's wrist. They struggled for the gun. Another shot, deafening in the enclosed space. I ran then, Emma screaming in my arms. Down the stairs, through the dark house, rain hammering the windows. Behind me, crashes, shouts, another gunshot. The garage. Keys. Where were the keys? Madison. I spun. Ethan stood in the doorway, blood on his shirt. Not his blood, I realized with horror. "You're not leaving," he said, stepping forward. "Not with her. She's my daughter. She's my property, like everything else in this house, including you." He lunged. I dodged, Emma wailing. My elbow connected with his face. Years of self-defense classes finally useful. He staggered. I ran for the car. "Lucas," I screamed. "Natasha." No answer. Just Ethan, coming after me again. I made it to the car, locked the doors just as he reached us. He pounded on the windows, face twisted with rage. Emma was hysterical. My hands shook so badly I could barely get the key in the ignition. The engine roared to life. Ethan grabbed a tire iron. I threw the car in reverse, tires screaming. Through the storm, through the gate, onto the winding mountain road. In the mirror, Ethan grew smaller, then disappeared. But I wasn't alone. Headlights followed, gaining fast. The hospital was too bright after the storm's darkness. Emma had finally stopped crying, exhausted in a nurse's arms. I sat in the ER, giving my statement to police while doctors checked my injuries. "Lucas Chen and Natasha Volkov," I repeated for the third time. "They were in the house. Please, you have to find them." The detective nodded, making notes. "We have units at the scene. Now, about your husband. He tried to kill me. He killed his first wife. There are others," Sarah Walsh said. "We found Miss Walsh," the detective interrupted gently. "She's in surgery. She's been asking for you." They let me see her briefly. She looked small in the hospital bed, machines beeping around her. "Madison," she whispered, "did you get out?" "Yes, Emma's safe." "Good." She closed her eyes. "I have evidence. Everything. Safety deposit box. Keys in my office." A tear slipped down her cheek. "I loved him once, before I knew what he was. Sarah, make him pay for all of us." The next days blurred together. Lucas had survived. Concussion, knife wounds, but alive. Natasha had disappeared like smoke, leaving only a note. "The baby deserves better." Evidence on kitchen camera, password Emma0610. The kitchen camera revealed everything. Audio and video Ethan thought he deleted, backed up to a hidden drive Natasha had installed. His confession to Sarah about his first wife. Plans for my accident. Financial fraud that made Bernie Madoff look amateur. But Ethan had vanished too. His car was found at the airport, but he'd never boarded a flight. The news called it the Tech Titan mystery. I called it hunting season. We moved in with Lucas temporarily. Separate rooms, just safety in numbers. He was patient, kind, never pushing. Emma started calling him Lulu. I tried not to think about what that meant. 3 weeks later, I found Ethan. Not physically, digitally. The arrogant bastard was accessing his hidden crypto accounts from a VPN, but he'd made one mistake. He used a password I recognized. Our anniversary date reversed. Still thinking of me, even while plotting my death. I could have just told the FBI. Should have. Instead, I did what I do best. I coded. It took me 6 hours to crack his system, another 2 to create the program. Then I waited, Emma asleep beside me, for him to log in again. When he did, my program activated. Every crypto wallet, every hidden account, every dirty secret, all of it transferred out. Not to me, to his victims' families, to charity, to the employees he'd cheated, and to the FBI's cybercrime division. The courtroom was packed the day Ethan was sentenced. 25 to life for murder, attempted murder, fraud, and a dozen other charges. He looked smaller in orange, his power stripped away with his suit. When they let him out, our eyes met. He mouthed something. This isn't over. But it was. For him, anyway. Sarah survived, testified, got a deal. 5 years, minimum security. She sent me a letter once. "Thank you for saving my life, even after everything. Take care of that little girl." Life found a new rhythm. I started my own company. The AI Framework Reborn, legally mine this time. We hired mothers returning to tech, building something Ethan never could. A company with a soul. Lucas stayed. Not as anything defined, just there, playing with Emma, cooking dinner, holding my hair when morning sickness hit hard during the pregnancy nobody knew about yet. I can wait, he said one night, Emma asleep between us on the couch. However long you need. Oliver was born during a gentle spring rain, so different from the storm that almost killed us. Lucas was there, holding my hand. Emma kissed her brother's head, chattering in the mix of English and Russian Natasha had taught her. He's perfect, Lucas whispered. Yeah, I agreed, watching this man who'd risked everything cradle my son like precious glass. He is. We never heard from Natasha again. Sometimes packages arrived, Russian children's books, toys, no return address. I like to think she was somewhere safe, maybe with her own daughter. The company grew, the children grew. Slowly, carefully, I grew too. Back into myself, beyond myself. You know what the funny thing is? I told my therapist one day. I'm grateful. She raised an eyebrow. For which part? All of it, even the horrible parts. Because I found out I'm not breakable. He tried everything, and I'm still here. That's not funny, she said gently. That's extraordinary. The day Oliver took his first steps, my phone buzzed. Unknown number, encrypted message. The 50 million is still out there. Interested? And I looked at my children. At Lucas teaching Emma to code. At the life we'd built from ashes. Then I typed back, already rich, but thanks. Because I was. Not in money. Though the company was doing well. Rich in what mattered. In what couldn't be stolen or controlled or destroyed. Ethan had been wrong about one thing. Emma didn't look like me. She looked like herself. Strong, unbreakable, free. And someday, when she's old enough, I'll tell her this story. About how her mother learned to code her way out of hell. About how love isn't possession and family isn't blood. About how sometimes the best revenge is a life well lived. But not today. Today, we're going to the park.